So I know y'all think that I'm probably about to say something like I'm an extreme couponer or only shop during clearance and all that stuff, but that is not the case. So I wanted to do this video because my whole channel is about money, and I feel like I wouldn't be doing you all justice if I didn't actually talk about spending money, because not everyone can actually save right now, but most people have to spend money. Like, you have to spend money. There's no way that you're going to not have any expenses, even if you pay off all of your debt. If you try to stay in the house all the time, you're still going to have property taxes. You're still going to have to buy toothpaste at some point. Like, you're still going to have expenses. So I wanted to share with you all a few spending habits that I have developed in order to help me not overspend. And also, I have recently started a shopping haul playlist. I'm going to be making videos doing shopping hauls just so you all can see how I think when I finally decide to spend money and what I'm considering when I actually make a purchase. And I recently actually released a Walmart shopping haul video, so go check that out. I'll leave a note card right here so you can see that. Let's go ahead and get into these healthy spending habits to have in order to not overspend. So I know y'all think that I'm probably about to say something like I'm an extreme couponer or only shop during clearance and all that stuff, but that is not the case. I do not have time to look for coupons, and I'm not organized enough to actually keep track of the coupons. I'm just confident in my spending habits, and I know that I will not overspend because of my spending habits. So let's get into this first one. So the first one is to have a plan. So even if it's just a grocery list, have a plan and a list of the items that you need, and that way you don't forget anything. But also it helps limit you to buying items on impulse. I know a lot of times grocery stores put items in certain places to make people want to buy it because it seems like it's complementary to the item that they're actually buying. So just stick to your plan and just buy the items that you need. Just focus on the items that you need and get out of there. Get out of the store. But yeah, have that plan. So another spending habit that I've developed in order to help me save money is I shop in bulk. I try to shop in bulk first before I go to any local grocery store. Of course, shopping in bulk is just trying to buy more items, so the cost per item, it ends up being less than if you were to actually go to a local grocery store and just buy that one item. So usually to shop in bulk, you have to have like a membership to like Sam's Club or Costco or BJ's. I feel like those membership costs are actually worth the money because you get to save so much money, especially if it's items that you're going to buy anyway. In the long run, even if it's just a month down the line, you end up saving so much money. So for example, just to recall the last time that I realized that shopping in bulk is helping me save so much money. I remember one time I was out with my mom and she was driving, and I wanted to go to Sam's Club so I can pick up a couple items, but she didn't want to go to Sam's Club. So we ended up just stopping at our local grocery store. And I needed some shredded lettuce. And usually at Sam's Club, I would only spend about $2 for 2 pounds of shredded lettuce. But then at that local grocery store, I ended up having to spend $2 for 1 pound of shredded lettuce. So I literally was spending the same amount of money and getting half the quantity that I would usually get. So, yeah, shopping in bulk definitely helps you save money usually. Another tip I have is to buy items that you can use over and over again. I find it a waste of money when you spend money on items that you're only going to use once or twice and that's it. So try to buy items that you can use over and over again. So for example, in that Walmart shopping haul video, I had bought my daughter a little swimming pool for our backyard. And so although I did have to spend money this time on it, I plan on using that same swimming pool for the next few years. And she's going to be using it multiple times throughout the summer. So buy stuff that you can use over and over so you can get your money's worth out of it. So another spending habit that I have for you all is to buy things that you can use for multiple purposes. I find that you get your money's worth out of those items because, of course, you can keep using the same item over and over and in different ways. So for example, when it comes to like buying a crib, when you buy a crib, you can buy a convertible crib that you can actually, it starts off as a crib and then you can put it down to a toddler bed, and then you could take it into a small child's bed when you take the railings off of the sides of it. So that's something that you could have for the next several years, and you don't have to keep wasting money on individual things as far as, okay, now I'm buying a bed, now I'm buying a toddler's bed, now I'm buying a small child's bed. So if you can buy things that can be multifunctional, then that definitely ensures that you get your money's worth. So another tip that I have is to put quality over quantity. So I feel like sometimes people get so caught up in the price of things and trying to be so cheap that they don't realize that actually buying cheaper things sometimes and makes them end up having to replace that item because it can't last as long as if you were to actually buy an item of quality that you can keep using and use for a while. So for example, with me, I used to buy these really cheap fabric shoes for work because I was being cheap, honestly. So I ended up having to replace them every month or so because they were of such poor quality. Then eventually I started realizing that I was just spending more money doing that. And so I ended up buying some shoes that were slightly more expensive, but they were made of leather. And those shoes ended up lasting me a long while. Probably, I actually think I still have those shoes. So, so it's been years since I've had those shoes, and I've definitely got my money's worth out of it. And it actually ends up being cheaper in the long run because now I'm not having to replace those cheap shoes every month and a half. So definitely put quality over quantity. So another spending habit that I have to share with you all is to focus on what you need and not what you want. I feel like if you can actually keep your focus on only purchasing the things that you need, you'll be able to not spend so much money on the items that you want, because you'll realize that your priority is the things that you need and, of course, achieving your financial goals. Instead of just focusing on something that you may want. So, for example, with me, when you look at my budget with me videos, you'll see that my budget mainly only include bills because those are expenses that we have to pay. Those are items that we need. We need lights each month. I don't make any room in my budget for clothes and shoes because I rarely buy clothes and shoes. The clothes and shoes that I have are just fine and I barely go anywhere, so there's no need for me to keep purchasing more clothes and more shoes, so I make no room in my budget for that. And I feel like with us actually making sure that we have this budget and we're putting our money towards our needs mostly, that allows us to make sure that our money is going towards the right places. And so everything else in excess, we're probably saving or trying to invest in some manner. So just focus on the things that you need and don't make too much room for your wants. So the next tip that I have is to ask yourself if you already have something that has the same function. So I say this because I find that a lot of people keep buying the same thing over and over to replace an item that they have. So of course that makes them end up spending money because every so often they keep replacing that item just because they want to and not necessarily need that new item. So for example, like with TVs, some people like to just have the biggest TV. So every year they have to get a bigger and bigger and bigger TV. So of course that's causing them to spend extra money because now they are getting a new $500 TV and another $500 TV when it's not necessarily needed because they already have a TV. So definitely think twice before you make that purchase as far as seeing if you have an item that already has that function. And you could possibly save money that way by not spending that extra money to purchase that item again, just in a different version. So that is it, you all. Those are all the tips that I have for you all. And I hope this helps you save money and think about money a little bit differently. But don't forget to go check out that Walmart shopping haul video, and I'll see you next time. Share with your family and friends to motivate them to achieve their financial goals as well.